Okay, I'm really excited. I just got in the mail. It's a really small book. I think it's 100 pages, and then a whole bunch of footnotes. But it's a letter to liberals from Robert F. Kennedy Jr. It says, Censorship and COVID, an attack on science and American ideals by the Children's Defense Fund, second edition, revised and updated. So I'm just going to read real quick the back of it. I'll start reading it tomorrow on my Facebook. I might go back and forth from Facebook and Instagram, but I kind of don't like doing it on Instagram because then I can't save it and upload it to other sites because Instagram no longer lets me do that. Okay, so the back cover, it says, a leading Democrat challenging his party to return to liberal values and evidence-based science. It says, Democrats were the party of intellectual curiosity, science-based reasoning, and free speech. But with COVID, many liberals embraced mandates, ill-supported by science, and defended unprecedented media and government censorship in the name of public health. In a letter to liberals, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. reviews the science to deconstruct the dominant pandemic narrative pushed by the government, the media, and the drug companies. He should say also the social media websites. He challenges lockdown liberalism and he challenges lockdown liberalism's embrace of policies that assault the fundamental principles of liberalism while doing little or nothing to protect our health. Kennedy throws down the gauntlet for the kind of vigorous scientific debate that liberals have long stood for and strives to ensure that unbiased honesty and well-reasoned thought are brought to bear on one of the most important and still unfolding chapters in human history. And then it says, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is the chairman of the board and chief legal counsel for Children's Health Defense. He is an esteemed author with a long list of published books, including New York Times bestseller, The Real Anthony Fauci, and Crimes Against Nature. Kennedy is the founder of Waterkeepers Alliance, and he was named one of Time Magazine's Heroes of the Planet for his success helping Riverkeeper lead the fight to restore the Hudson River. His reputation as a resolute defender of the environment and children's health stems from a litany of successful legal actions. So he took a lot of companies to court and cleaned up the Hudson River and helped get a lot of mercury out of fish. And he wants them out of vaccines too, which no one calls them anti-fish, but they call them anti-vaccine, which is total batshit craziness. Author's notes. Should I read the author's notes first? I'm just going to read the author's notes and that's all tonight. Author's notes. First, he puts a quote here from NIH Director Anthony Fauci from Meet the Press on June 9th, 2021. It says, attacks on me, quite frankly, are attacks on science. So if you are trying to get at me as a public health official and scientist, you're really attacking not only Dr. Anthony Fauci, you are attacking science. You have to be asleep not to see that. Which is a bunch of bullshit. Okay, it is troubling enough that our country's leading public health technocrat and the fiat leader of the National Institute of Health, NIH, the world's principal funder of scientific research, would make such a narcissistic and scientifically absurd statement. The most serious concern is that the majority of my political party, the Democrats, and the mainstream media generally accept Dr. Fauci's assertion as gospel. Journalists, even science journalists, act as if they believe that any pronouncement by Dr. Anthony Fauci or FDA, CDC, or WHO, the World Health Organization, the FDA is Food and Drug Administration, CDC is Center for Disease Control. Any one of those three agencies should mark the end of scientific inquiry It is my hope that this short book will remind all Americans that blind faith in authority is a feature of religion and autocracy, but not of science nor democracy. In what was arguably one of the most important speeches in American history, President Dwight D. Eisenhower warned our citizenry precisely against the kind of misplaced faith in federal scientific bureaucrats. He said, "The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or democratic processes. In this revolution, research has become central. It also becomes more formalized, complex, and costly. A steadily increasing share is conducted for, by, or at the direction of the federal government. The prospect of domination of the nation's scholars by federal employment, project allocations, and the power of money is ever present and is gravely to be regarded. We must be alert to the dangers that public policy could itself become the captive of a scientific technological elite," which it's been. This essay, so this is from who was that from again? Dwight D. Eisenhower. He also said that the rise of the military-industrial complex, if he were alive today, he would have said the rise of the petrochemical, pharmaceutical, military-industrial complex, because all of these are under military contracts. Pfizer and Moderna and all the CDC, they're all under military contracts. This was all run by the NSA, National Security Agency, as he will probably say in this book. This essay emerged from a congenial and ongoing conversation during the COVID pandemic between myself and my longtime friend and former law partner, John Morgan, a lifelong champion of the Democratic Party and liberal values. I invited John, who reveres Anthony Fauci and accepts the scientific validity of the government's COVID countermeasures, to re-engage his critical thinking skills and to accept my challenge to science-based debate, which he did. I hope this little book will encourage other liberal Democrats to do the same. Robert F. Kennedy, Jr. A challenge to debate. My dear fellow liberal, just before his death in 1642, Galileo complained that the author... I'm gonna read this tomorrow. Go to my Facebook. It's going to be on my Facebook. All right, peace out, kids. I love you all. Going to bed.